Hello and welcome back. In this video, we would be looking at how to use some basic terminal commands in our bash scripts. So as always, if you want to create a bash script, we touch the file, right? Or you create a file and then the file name. So let me call this cmd commands or cmd.sh, right? And then now I want to end. So you this double ampersand after creating the file, we chmod the file. So 755. Then the name of the file cmd.sh. Before this command would have run, this file would have been created. So if you hit enter and do ls, we can see our cmd.sh here. Color has changed nicely. And then we can now call or include it inside our text editor here. As always, you declare your shebang, then give the path to where your bash utility is. That's your born again shell. And then we start. So in the previous video, we look at how to run the date command inside an echo, right? But this time, we don't really want to type the command in the echo statement, but we want to actually run the command inside the script so that we can put some set of commands together inside the bash script. So what we do here is I want to write a command to create a file, right? So to write a comment, you use the hash. Bear in mind that the hash or the number symbol without the exclamation. If you use exclamation, it's a shebang, which gives the path or provides the path to your shell utility, right? So I want to say creating a file using our bash script. So to do that, first we want to echo that creating a file, right? Creating a file. And then here, after echoing that statement, you just touch, the command we used was touch, right? So touch, then the file name, right? So let's say hello.txt. This will just create a hello.txt file inside the current directory where we run the bash script. So let's run this command and see what happens. So to run the script, we said that you do dots. Okay, so this I'm use source and then I call this cmd. So cmd.sh. And I hit enter, creating a file. When we check or we do the ls, we see the hello.txt here. So basically, we can just create a file using a touch in our bash script. So here, I can remove the file too as well. So hello.txt, right? Then I do ls, and then I run. So after doing that, let me echo that I am removing the file. Removing the file. So now if I rerun this command, okay, first let me clear the screen. If I rerun this command, I see creating a file, removing a file. If I do ls, the hello.txt is gone, right? Okay, so basically this is how to create, we touch the file, you remove the file. If you try removing before, you see that you get an error. Bear in mind that the codes run one after the other, line by line, which means that line 4 would run before line 6, before line 8, before line 9. Okay, always keep that in mind, right? So what if I want to create a directory? You guessed it, right? So let me comment out this one. I don't always want to be removing the files that I create. I want to make a directory, so you do echo creating a directory or making a directory. So now here we now use a command for making a directory. That's the make dir, right? and then the directory name, which is, so let's say I want to call it files, my files. Okay. So now if I hit save and then I rerun this script, I see creating a file, removing a file, making a directory. I do ls, I see the files here, right? But let's look at this. Let me comment out removing the file echo here. Okay. Now, if I try rerunning this script, what happens here is that I get this error. After running this line, making a directory, when it's supposed to make the files directory, it says that what cannot create directory files. So here is the case. Assuming we have another command here, move, or let's say touch something, touch hello, or hey, or greetings dot py, right? Assuming we have another command here, right? So let's see, let's rerun this source. If I do ls, you see that here we get this error, right? Because we have what? Cannot create directory called files, right? So which means that this is running because there's a files directory already created. If we don't want to see this error, right, on our screen, or this output on our screen, we could always pass the -p option, right, which will first check and see whether this is created. If it is created, it will suppress the error. If it is not created, it will go ahead and then create it. So if I do ls, if I save the file and then I clear the screen, and then I do dots, let's use dot this time, cmd.sh. Now you see creating a file, making a directory. If you do ls, now the files is still there, right? Okay. So basically that is for that. But then now we see that these files are being created and then they are messing up with our sh files. So I want to move these files. So first I want to echo moving the files, moving files into files directory. So as you can see, you see that the echo is just used to update us to tell us what is actually coming to go on here, right? So to do that, you move files, right? So which is greetings. The files you created, we have greetings.py, and then we have what? hello.txt, and then we are moving them into the files directory. Remember, the last one should be the directory name, then the ones before can be the files directory, right? The file names, sorry. If I clear the screen and I rerun this command, you see moving the files to this. If I do ls, now I see only my shells, my scripts, as well as the file directory. If I ls the files directory, I see the files that have been created, right? But then there's something wrong with this script. Something wrong because this script will only run or will only create these files inside the directory where we are running this script in. So assuming that I want to always run or create these files in the bash scripts directory, first let me check pwd5, check my current working directory. I'm in dev SIRDEMATICA bash scripts. If I always want to create these files in my bash scripts directory, then this code would go wrong. So it means that the script is supposed to be very intelligent, or I'm supposed to provide a path to where I want the files and then the directories to be created in, right? So in order to do that, you can always attach the absolute path, right? So the tilde will start from home, forward root, home, sedem, and then now wherever I want it to go. Okay. So always keep that in mind, the files that you want to create and then the directory you want to create them in. Okay. And then when you are removing them or you are making directories, make sure you provide the -p options. If you want to know more about file paths, you can go watch our video on absolute and relative file paths, where we spoke about this type of file paths and then the ones that are advisable for us to use in our bash scripts. So basically, I feel like you have an idea of how we can run some basic terminal commands in our bash scripts. So you can go ahead and then add some more commands and then do something meaningful with this. So in the next video, we would start with our project where we build a progressive bash script that would use at the end. It's going to be a robust that would use to be creating other bash scripts. And at the end, this bash script is going to be so robust that it will check whether the file name you want to create already exists and some other interesting stuff. So if you want to know more, just go and then watch the next video.